Good morning. My name is Tony Merrihew. I'm with Chandi Group USA, and I am your chair-elect for the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to welcome you all to the 2018 Indio State of the City and Business Expo. We're going to start by asking everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. When we created the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber 3 years ago, was born out of the 3 existing chambers for the cities of Indio, Coachella, and La Quinta. We committed to retaining local chamber boards in each of the cities in an effort to make sure that we did not lose sight of our local roots while focusing on the valley as a whole. That's important. And I'd like to now introduce you to the chairman of the local Indio Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Ramiro Jimenez.
Hello, thank you. My name is Ramiro Jimenez with First Bank, and I'm proud to serve as the chairman for the Indio Chamber Board. We are thrilled that you are here today, as one of our chamber's main objectives is to provide accessibility and education to local, state, and regional leaders. As part of that ongoing commitment, we are pleased to present the annual city update in partnership with the City of Indio. I would like to acknowledge the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber's Board of Directors for 2018-2019. Please stand as I call your name, and if you could please hold your applause till the very end. Tony Merrihew, incoming chair, Chandi Group USA. Jeff Levine, Vice Chair, Asher & Asher Consulting. Jay Chesterton, Treasurer, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, Cabazon Band of Mission Indians. Carrie Boivet, Forest Lawn, Memorial Parks and Mortuaries. Directors at Large, Rob Ballou, Family YMCA of the Desert. Austin Benetow, Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial. Lisa Bodner, CVEP. Dee Dee Callanan, North American Title. Carmen Contreras, State Farm Insurance. Herman Sebastian Garcia, Rabobank. Mickey Humapau, Envoy Mortgage. Victoria Lort, American Outreach Foundation. Deborah Wales, JFK Memorial Hospital and Desert Care Network. I'd also like to recognize the Board of Directors for the Indio Chamber, myself, Ramiro Jimenez with First Bank as your chairman, Rodney Chalmers, Seacon Management Secretary, Sandy Harden, the Lock Shop Treasurer, Jerry Tack, Gallery Homes, Daniel Sherman, Lamar Outdoor Advertising, Gerardo Blue, Gap Signs, Heather Ramirez, Heather Just Create. We want to thank and recognize all of our elected leaders that are with us today. We encourage you to introduce yourself to them as you are the business community in which they represent. They want to hear your voice. Please hold your applause till the very end. Mayor Linda Evans, Kathleen Fitzpatrick, Senator Jeff Stone, Supervisor V. Manuel Perez, Mayor Stephen Hernandez, Chairman Wellmans, John Pena, and Steve Sanchez. We'd also like to extend a special thank you to Fantasy Springs Resort Casino for their hospitality in hosting tonight's event, and for the staff that is serving us a delicious lunch. These events are made possible by the generous support of our sponsors. We will start by recognizing our title sponsor for today's event, and I'd like to call up Herman from Rabobank. Come on up.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Wanted to thank the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce for giving us the opportunity to be today's title sponsor. Gives us great privilege to be able to support our communities. Rabobank's a firm believer in supporting all the communities that we are in. We currently have 6 locations here in the Coachella Valley, and we have locations in Indio, Coachella, La Quinta, Palm Desert, Palm Springs, and Thousand Palms. So we definitely have a strong commitment to our communities, and thank you very much once again. And I'm here serving on 2 different capacities. One is as the branch manager for the Coachella office for Rabobank, and then also as a board member for the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce. So thank you. I'm going to introduce my colleague.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Norma Strong, the Indio branch manager for Indio. I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be involved in the communities we serve in. Also at our table, I just want to introduce our colleagues that are here with us today. We have Randy Taylor, our market manager. Randy? Thank you. We have Bruce Gillen, our community loan officer. We have Jim Thomas, our SBA officer. We have Elisa Silva with our La Quinta branch manager. We have Pauline Gross, our Development Community Finance Officer. We have Annalyn Sanchez, our Senior Banker from Coachella Branch. And we have a special guest, but he's not here yet, but he should be arriving soon. His name is Pedro Rodriguez, and he is with the Coachella Valley Housing Coalition. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And again, we'd like to offer a special thanks to all of our sponsors. Without the strong financial support of our members and sponsors, the Chamber would not be able to provide the multitude of services that we do provide. Today's presenting sponsors are Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, City of Indio, and La Entrada as the centerpiece sponsor, which they did a great job. I'd like to also call out the rest of our sponsors: State Farm, Carmen Contreras, JFK, and Desert Regional Medical Center, Best and Krieger, Supervisor V. Manuel Perez, California Bank and Trust, Coachella Valley History Museum, Coachella Valley Rescue Mission, Altura Credit Union, Pueblo Viejo Grill, Desert Urgent Care, Palm Springs CVB, AT&T, Forest Lawn, Burtech, First Bank, Chandi Group USA, College of the Desert. All right, so now comes the fun. We will continue our program with honoring local businesses and community members. Please join me on stage, Tony Merrihew and Mayor Michael Wilson, to assist in giving awards. Very well. Our first award is for Business of the Year, and that award goes to Preferred Air Conditioning and Plumbing. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the company. Preferred Air Conditioning and Plumbing have been serving the Coachella Valley for over 30 years. Air conditioning, heating, and plumbing just so happens to be the things they fix, maintain, or replace, but building relationships and being there for their customers is truly their specialty. Preferred is ready to serve 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with old-fashioned service, they remain customer preferred. Now here's something you may not know about the owners, Rick and Rachel. They recently heard that the local VFW was in desperate need of air conditioning units. A whopping 6 tons of air conditioning units were needed, and the workers to do the jobs, and the electrical, and more. The owners did not skip a beat. They did not hesitate. They got the equipment donated, and they also donated the man-hours themselves, and they fixed the rest because they are outright great people. This is a special thanks for a job well done for our veterans in our community. Please welcome Rick and Rachel Cubas, owners of Preferred Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, we're good. And if you'd like to say a few words?
Oh, sure. Definitely want to say thank you because there are many of our customers right here in this room, and we're just grateful for the support. We're grateful for the fact that you're the ones that are building our business and actually creating more jobs because we're continuing to grow and grow each and every day. And so I want to encourage you, reach out to us if you ever have a plumbing, air conditioning, or heating problem. We're that company that's going to fix the situation and not just sell you something you don't need. And so the idea is Preferred will keep that system running as long as humanly possible. We're still the company that believes in old-fashioned values and giving people options and not pressuring them into anything. Our team cannot sell equipment without the involvement of an owner or a manager. So we don't have salesmen on the front line that don't know how to fix things, that just make you replace something. So have the peace of mind. My wife and myself were on the front lines of customer service and sales. And so we know about everything that's going on in our business. We're not aloof somewhere out there. We're constantly developing our team and teaching them about old-fashioned service. So thank you again for all your support. Good job. You good?
Next up, we have the Restaurant of the Year Award, and that award goes to Jackalope Ranch. The Jackalope Ranch is a destination, and it boasts several guest experiences in its 22,000 square foot custom California ranch building on its lush 6.5 acre venue. From the fine dining chop house, prime rib Sunday brunch, saloon, palapa bar, and beautiful dining areas, they're the perfect venue for indoor and outdoor private group events. Casual to elaborate fine dining, this spectacular place has something for every taste and every occasion. Lunch, dinner, happy hour, early dining, and more. Lee Marcus has devoted his life to the hospitality industry, resorts, hotels, and restaurants. Kaiser Restaurant Group has created many great restaurant experiences in our valley: Kaiser Grill, Palm Springs, and Palm Desert, Chop House Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, Grindberger Bar, the Hog's Breath Inn, and La Quinta and Carmi, among others. Jackalope Ranch is partnering with the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber and City of Indio once again as the host site for the Taste of Indio next week on November 1st. Be sure to be there. Cheers to our great community partners, Lee Marcus and the Jackalope team. Come on up to say a few words.
Well, thank you for this honor. It's quite an honor. It doesn't happen without many of the people in this room, the city, Mike, your support. Thanks for all the road construction, too. It's nice to see the progress. This belongs to our staff, the community, our guests. So I accept it, but I accept the award on behalf of everybody that contributed to making it happen. So see you all next week at the Taste. Chamber's done a heck of a job putting this event together and putting it on, so we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the Spirit of Indio Award, and this award goes to Rodney Chalmers, Seacon Management. Rodney Chalmers grew up in the Coachella Valley between the ages of 9 and 19. During this time, he spent a lot of time in the Indio area where his parents worked in commercial real estate. He had seen a lot of change in those 10 years before he left the valley to receive his education. After receiving his MS degree in industrial organizational psychology, he came back to the Coachella Valley in 2007 and was astounded by the growth during his absence. He started working at the Chank Group as property manager in 2007 and continued through 2010. In August of 2010, Rodney started R.E. Chalmers Real Estate and took Seacon Management as his primary client with 230,000 commercial square feet. Rodney's company has added a few additional clients in the last few years, as well as some foreign clients and a business owners association. Please welcome Rodney Chalmers for this year's Chamber Volunteer of the Year Award.
Thank you, thank you. Really, it is an honor to receive this award. I've started with the Chamber a long time ago, and it really is a pleasure to work with such professional people whose goals really are to better business in the city of Indio. It's a passion of mine. Indio is, and has always been, the seat of the blue-collar workforce in this valley, and it is great to see that coming back to us again. I also have to thank everybody that has helped me throughout my career back here. Josh, my lovely new wife, Shannon. Nobody does well on their own. It's always standing on the backs of others. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Nonprofit of the Year award. And this award goes to Desert Theater Works. Go ahead. Desert Theater Works is a performing arts organization started in 2013. It has recently begun its 6th season of plays and musicals and is approaching its 2nd year at DTW's new home in the Indio Performing Arts Center. This summer, DTW produced its summer musical theater camp, Kids Works. Desert Theater Works partnered with Elite Academic Academy, which gave them the opportunity for over 120 youths to attend camp at no cost, most of whom are from Indio and the East Valley. DTW prides itself in cultivating and educating talented individuals to present top quality productions to the public. When CEO Ron Phillips Martinez and artistic director Lance Phillips Martinez began the company 6 years ago, their aim was to entertain, captivate, and educate the community in the world of performing arts. Ron's background in business ownership and management was complemented by Lance's artistic creativity and more than 30 years of experience working in the theater and education industry. Both Ron and Lance feel that education through the arts is an essential part of life, both for the young and the young at heart. Please welcome Desert Theater Works to the stage, and if you could say a few words.
First off, a big thank you to the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce and the City of Indio. My name is Lance Phillips Martinez. I'm the Artistic Director of Desert Theater Works. This is my husband and partner in crime, Ron Phillips Martinez. He is our CEO. We are so grateful to be considered as the Nonprofit of the Year. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is only having local performers and local participants. Everyone that participates in Desert Theater Works, whether they're a volunteer in the front of house or an actor on stage or the kids coming through our doors, every single person is from the Coachella Valley. Every single one. So that is really important to us, not to import performers from other places because the talent is here. We believe the youth is talented, and to give the youth in our valley, in our East Valley in particular, a chance to perform. There's many other places in the west part of the valley, but in the East Valley, there are not very many places for kids to grow as performers. And we are very happy and privileged to be able to provide this. This year, we'll have over 200 kids in our camp this summer at no cost whatsoever. So we are happy to be providing that. And this year, it looks like we'll go over the 20,000 mark of having people come to our shows. Providing bigger titles this year, such as The Sound of Music in December and Hairspray in March. So please come see a show. That's how you can support and see what we're doing. And the talent and the shows are here in Indio. Thanks so much, everybody.
Congratulations and thank you to the honorees. We have one more at this time. I'd like to welcome the mayor to say a few words and give his award. Please give a warm welcome to Mayor Michael Wilson.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 City of Indio State of the City event. Thank you for the introduction. I'd like to thank everyone for taking your time to be here with us today. It's been a fantastic year being mayor and working with my fellow council members, staff in the community. It is a pleasure and an honor to serve as mayor in such a great city and representing each and every one of you. Before I start, I want to introduce the most important person in the room to me. And with me today, thank you, Hun, for taking your time out from work in San Bernardino, is my wife, Gina Wilson, my rock and my partner. If I could have the City Council stand up, please. I'd like to introduce the City Council. Mayor Pro Tem Troy Strange. Councilmember Lupe Ramos-Watson. Councilmember Glenn Miller. And Councilmember Elaine Holmes. Thank you all for being here. Also, I'd like to recognize our great City of Indio staff. If each and every one of you could stand, please. These individuals work hard every day serving you, our residents, and our visitors, and they deserve a huge round of applause from everyone in the room. Thank you very much for what you do. Now, on to the Mayor's Award. I want to recognize an exceptional developer in our city, Mr. Stan Rothbart. Mr. Rothbart has been an instrumental and driving force for the development of the Palm Shopping Center as well as the Walmart Neighborhood Market on Jefferson Street in the city of Indio. The anticipated 12-screen theater, Maya Cinemas, the 93-room Hilton Hampton Inn, a 30,000 square foot EOS fitness center will be coming to the Palms, as well as the current Starbucks, a soon-to-be-built Arby's, the current T-Mobile store, the urgent care, and many, many more retailers and operators in the development. Mr. Rothbart and Rothbart Development was founded in 1984 by Stan Rothbart. Mr. Rothbart has developed neighborhood and community shopping centers from Hawaii to Illinois, with a principal focus on California projects. Mr. Rothbart's relationship and experience with national change in his centers is an integral factor to the success of the firm. Each of the Rothbart centers include major national chain tenants such as Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Kohl's, Ross, PetSmart, Joann's Fabrics, Albertsons, Walmart Neighborhood Markets, Ralph's, Walgreens, Ashley's Furnitures, and Office Depots, just to say a few. In addition to the ability to acquire some of the most successful retailers for his shopping center developments, Mr. Rothbart brings invaluable tenants, experience, and a legal expertise to commercial development. Mr. Rothbart has been integrally involved in all phases of acquisition, development, zoning, site design, planning, leasing, construction, financing, and management in over 65 neighborhood and community centers in the United States, totaling over 12 million square feet of retail and complementary space. Each center is personally managed and with strong tenant mixes and are carefully considered to provide such project and tenants that have the greatest opportunity for success. Mr. Rothbart has been active in his industry throughout his career, having spoken at numerous International Council of Shopping Centers and industry conferences and conventions. Further, he is the past chairman and president of the Business Property Council. Mr. Rothbart, I invite you to please come up and accept the Indio Mayor's Award. And if you would please, you're welcome to share a few words. Mr. Stan Rothbart.
Sounds like I wrote that introduction. As Deborah at table 25 recently said to me, how often do you get an award for something you love to do? And indeed, it's rare. So I want to express my appreciation to all of you for this very special award. We've been working on this development since 2011, And it really is a passion of mine, and we work hard every day to make the Palms a very special place. And I think soon you'll be able to see the fruits of that effort. You'll hear later today from Montezuma, who's our newest anchor and our entertainment anchor, is the 12-screen Maya Theaters, which will be phenomenal. And we will be announcing other tenants shortly. Our business has changed dramatically. It used to be that you just want retailers in a shopping center. And with the internet sales having diverted many of those dollars to, and people staying at home to order those goods from home, we've had to expand our horizons. And now our new focus is entertainment anchors and hospitality anchors, dining and essential services. And we have all of those in the project. So we hope that you'll be there for the ribbon cutting on the groundbreaking of the Maya Theater and for many more to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan. Good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
This year has been transformative for the city of Indio. We have been recently ranked the 30th fastest growing city in the United States, the 8th fastest in California, and the 3rd fastest in Southern California, behind only Irvine and Santa Clarita. So, why Indio? Since 2010, we have laid the foundation for economic development to come to the city of Indio. We are driven to create the best quality of life for families, enrich our businesses, and welcome over 1.4 million visitors each year. Economic development has been the City Council's priority for several years now, and it continues to be a priority. The video you're about to see spotlights the current commercial, housing, and retail growth in the city and shows you why Indio, which is our theme. With the help of our panelists today, we will continue to answer the question, why Indio? We will discuss why Indio is on the forefront of growth in the Coachella Valley. Joining us today is Dr. Christopher Thornburg. Dr. Thornburg is director of the UC Riverside School of Business Center for Economic Forecasting and Development and an adjunct professor at the school. He is an expert in economic and revenue forecasting, regional economics, economic policy, labor, and real estate markets. Welcome, Dr. Thornburg. Right there. How are you? Welcome to the stage, Moctezuma Esparza. Moctezuma is the CEO of Maya Cinemas, an award-winning filmmaker, producer, entrepreneur, and activist. He is revered for his contributions to the movie industry and commitment to Latinos. Is Mr. Esparza. Susan Harvey. Susan Harvey is co-owner of Desert Pacific Properties, a commercial real estate firm in Palm Desert. A Coachella Valley resident since 1984, Susan has been an active commercial real estate agent, brokering land, industrial, retail, office, and investment transactions throughout the valley. Please welcome Susan Harvey. Welcome, Susan. Welcome, Mr. Esparza. Thank you all for joining me today, and thank you for being here. Got to start the timer. So a question for the whole panel. You can chime in. What makes Indio unique, and why would people and businesses move here? Start with you, Mr. Thornburg.
That's a big question. Good afternoon, everyone. As noted, I'm with UC Riverside. It's great to be here. We do a lot of data analytics, and you take a look at the Inland Empire overall, and what you're really sitting in the middle of is one of the most dynamic, fastest growing economies in the nation. And the trends you're seeing out here in the Coachella Valley, of course, mimic what you're seeing in the overall region. This is just a phenomenal growth machine. And then you think about the city of Indio, and it was noted just a little while ago during the awards that Indio, in many ways, truly is what I would call the seat, if you will, of the Coachella Valley. This is where people live. It has the largest population base. It has the fastest rate of population growth. And in many ways, the people that live here basically fuel the entire region. But of course, along the way, there's also been a tremendous amount of growth right here in the city. Other parts of Coachella Valley, in many ways, I think have much more heavy tourism sort of focus, entertainment sort of focus. But because you have what I would call a more broad-based, really well-diversified economy out here, you're seeing different sorts of trends. We were looking at some of the job numbers. Employee role employment right now is getting close to 19,000 people overall. Big growth sectors. Healthcare is an astonishing sector out here for growth. Wholesale and logistics are big growth sectors out here. So what you see is what I would call more traditional kind of jobs driving this region forward. And again, it goes back to the fact that this is sort of the center of business, if you will, for the broader region.
Right. Susan, would you like to answer that question?
Sure. So on the flip side of the logical, practical jobs, Indio is a great place. If you look back, we all made it, thankfully, through the Great Recession. And I think after the recession, we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and we want to have fun. People are looking for places to go on the weekend and enjoy life and have fun. And what more, what a better format than Indio with all the festivals, the music festivals, the art festival, the tamale festival. So it's just a fun place to be. It has a lot to offer. I love that we're soon going to have the CV link here so we can enjoy cycling and walking through the city. The new trail that's going to lead up to Joshua Tree. It's a place where people can really enjoy life and enjoy spending downtime outside.
Indio has always been unique to me, and I've always called it the center of the valley, or El Corazon, or the heart of the valley. And the people here are different. They're different in a way that they're compassionate. We may be from opposite sides of the street, but we all find a way to get along, and we work together. So I love Indio for that uniqueness. What makes Indio unique, and why would people and businesses move here? What do you see in the trends?
Well, again, I go back to this idea that unlike other parts of Coachella Valley, I mean, if you want to do business, this is where you go. I mean, this is where the workers are living. There's obviously quite business friendly. You see a lot of new construction going on. It's a place that basically said, hey, we're here and we're willing to, if you will, support. It's kind of the center of gravity.
Sure.
And in many ways out here. And I think that's what drives it. And again, I go back to this broader picture. The Inland Empire right now is on fire, record low unemployment rate, one of the fastest growing economies in the nation. And you think about how the Coachella Valley fits into that picture. It's one piece of that particular puzzle. It just makes sense.
Right, absolutely. Mr. Esparza, would you care to pipe in?
Well, for me, for Maya Cinemas, what was important and what drew me here was the wonderful population. You have over 100,000 people that are living very nearby, and there was a need for entertainment, a need for a modern state-of-the-art movie theater. And I had been looking at the general area for 10 years, and what made the difference for me was, number one, the city. It was cooperative, it was supportive, the staff really understood what my needs were, and Stan Rathbart, who just got the award. I have to say that you have a treasure in Mr. Stan Rathbart. He is compelling, supportive, he makes things happen. And so, along with the fact that I wanted to be here, the combination of the city and Stan made it possible.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Esparza. We've seen some recent trends in statistics and numbers that Indio, over the last 6-7 years, has increased the median income, for instance, about $10,000 per income, which is huge in that short a time. Can you expound a little on that?
Yeah, well, some of that is, of course, the recovery from the Great Recession. Right. And, of course, nowadays, with the labor shortage going on across the entire region, you're really seeing an economy that, it's a tide lifting all boats in a very real way. Clearly, that's supportive of what's going on. But it also has to do, again, what I would call the thickening of the labor market here. One of the big growth sectors out in Coachella Valley, it's an industry that is highly underrepresented here relative to, say, Southern California overall. But right. Look at professional services. Right. That is actually one of the growth industries here. And of course, those are skilled jobs, and you see more skilled folks moving in the community at the same time. So you really have a combination of the two, a strong economy and a new kind of group of people moving into the region.
We're also seeing some manufacturing starting to make an appearance in the city of Indio, and interest in some of our properties. What do you see in those numbers? Well,
it's interesting you should say that, because I was actually going to go there, because the one weakness I actually see here in Indio is, in fact, in manufacturing. It's the one part, if you hold it up to what's happening in the broader Riverside region, that's the part that's missing. Because overall, manufacturing jobs have declined a little bit out here, where really over the last 5 years in the rest of Riverside County, they're up 10, 12%.
Right.
But again, go back to the broader idea. Manufacturing is still healthy and alive. I know there's a lot of conversation about how it's doing horrible. It's not. It's shifting. It's a different kind of industry today, a lot more robotics. But then again, what they need is they need space, and they need sun in a lot of cases. They want to have good weather. In fact, deserts in many parts of the United States have become the new hot spots. And in many ways, there's a whole new opportunity for Indio to think about how they can position themselves on that particular framework. If you want a model for that, go look east of Reno in Story County, where, of course, you got these new server farms and everything going in, again, taking advantage of the sun and the new kind of needs. So phenomenal opportunity there. That's an upside. But if I may weigh in just 1 second on that, because there's a second conversation. Again, looking at the numbers, the other bit of worry I had in Indio was actually the lack of residential permits. Because one of the things you got to realize is that the biggest constraint in California right now to job growth is labor force growth.
Right.
And you saw an enormous surge of housing units prior to the Great Recession. Unfortunately, the housing market has not bounced back as other parts of the local real estate market. And in many ways, if you want to fuel the ongoing job expansion here, a lot of that's going to be about talking about housing.
Right.
And people don't do that. And you need to, because getting that housing sort of pipeline moving again is going to be a huge key to maintaining the momentum you have here in the city of Indio.
we have seen over the last 4 years in looking at permits valley-wide that the city of Indio has matched just inside our boundaries the housing growth against the rest of the Coachella Valley combined to about 1,650 to 1,700 units. And I think that's, as well as you say, is driving some of our growth because the housing has been developed here.
Right, but compare that to where Great Recession, where the numbers were 2 or 3 times that, right?
Right, exactly.
So again, you have to, you got to take a step back and ask why. Why isn't more of that happening? And think about policies to fuel, if you will, the growth.
Very good. What current future trends do you see in Indio, Susan?
Well, the industrial sector is, there's no product out there right now, very little. The vacancies are 5%. And so I see the need for additional industrial flex space. There's an awful lot going on mid-valley by the 10, but I see there's an opportunity in Indio to fill in the Van Buren Business Park, and I think we're going to go to bed one night and wake up the next morning and say, oh my gosh, we need to hurry and jump on that board. So the industrial sector is something, I love what Chris said about the residential market. We really do need to, get the builders building again, because that's really important to our area. But additionally, the retail has been great. Thank you, Stan. And things are hopping. But with residential and industrial, I think one morning we're going to wake up and say, hurry, let's get building again.
Right. Speaking to a broker last week, and I heard something that I've never heard of before in my 21 years as an elected official. And he was telling me that, talking about commercial and light industrial, that he's seeing rents in Indio that are equal to Mid-Valley, Palm Desert, and other areas, which forever we could never dream or aspire to that level of can you speak a little to that?
Yes. What has happened is, since the cannabis industry has blossomed in other areas of the Coachella Valley and absorbed a lot of the industrial space there, it's driven out a lot of the tenants in the existing buildings. Even the owners of the existing buildings said, hey, yeah, I'll sell my building for $1 gajillion and move on down the road. So there's just increased demand, and increased demand always brings prices up.
And we've talked about that. The city council and I and staff have taken a wait-and-see approach on the cannabis industry and to see where things shake out. And one of our driving reasons is let's see what the rest of the normal business does when cannabis takes over and drives up prices in industrial and commercial. And we're seeing exactly that. Mm-hmm. The rest of the business are being driven to the East Valley and Indio, right. And it's a great trend. What type of industries do you see growing and or needed in Indio?
Well, I go back to the idea that manufacturing is the missing part of the puzzle. But again, what's offsetting that? What are the big growth drivers? Logistics is a big part of it. There's no doubt that wholesale and transportation and warehousing is doing great out here. Get a little bit into the healthcare. Healthcare, of course, has always been a sector that's been sort of underrepresented in the East Valley. There's been a real need for healthcare, and to see big surge of growth in that sector, I think is important from an economic standpoint. I also think it's really important from a demographic standpoint and a pure service standpoint. So again, seeing that moving forward is very good as well. Construction is also starting to bounce. Now, this is, again, go back to the idea that this is, if you will, the center of gravity in the local economy, and construction across the valley is doing well. Well, a lot of those construction companies are right here.
Right.
And of course, they're bringing, if you will, that wealth back. But I hate to harp on this point. It goes back to what I said before. One of the big issues for businesses here in the city of Indio is you compete with the local workforce with the rest of the valley.
Right.
We were looking at some interesting data. About 19,000 payroll jobs here at the city of Indio. You have about 24,000 fully employed residents of the city of Indio. So that imbalance, of course, goes back to the idea that a lot of people who live here are actually working somewhere else in the valley. You're competing for the local workforce with the entire Coachella Valley. And how do you, again, feed your businesses? A lot of it's going to be expanding housing stock.
Right. And segue off of the housing stock, speak a little bit about affordable housing and what it brings to the community.
Well, listen, we think about affordable housing as if somehow or other it's a panacea for the broader issues of housing in California. Affordable housing is nice, but it's not the issue. It's a supply conversation. Because again, go back to one of the earlier comments I made. Right now in the Inland Empire, you are seeing a substantial increase in incomes because of the labor supply issue. It's not, look, no matter how good the economy is, there's always a portion of the population that's just not keeping up, right? For various sorts of reasons, they're lagging behind. And those are the folks that are having trouble. We have to worry about them. But the broader conversation is about providing housing, not affordable housing, but housing to the people who want to live here and want to work here, particularly in the multifamily space.
Right.
For me, one of the biggest issues of all over the last, say, 5-6 years here, there's been almost no multifamily construction, and yet multifamily is exactly the kind of housing stock you need to feed the logistics, to feed the healthcare, to feed the retail growth in this particular region. So getting on that sort of a path of building that workforce housing, you don't have to worry about affordability.
Right.
It'll take care of itself.
Right. Thank you. Moctezuma, speak a little bit more on why you chose Indio specifically.
It's all those workers that my colleague here is talking about. There is a huge population here, right, that comes home and is looking for entertainment, looking for things to do here locally in Indio. It's not about all the tourists that you're getting that I'm interested in, right? There are other attractions for them, right? You've got this great casino and you've got the big music festivals, but those are not necessarily attractions for the local population. I'm interested in taking care of and providing quality, amenity, and entertainment for your local residents, and that's what attracted me.
Thank you for that. Expound on the kind of movie theater you're building.
State of the art.
Good answer. There was a component of your theaters that myself and staff and my colleagues on the city council were very interested in, and those are the crying room. Speak a little bit about your crying room.
We're very interested in family market, family audiences. And so, you know, I looked at my own experience when I was a young father, right? And I had kids, and my wife and I would want to go out. And unless we could find a babysitter, right, we weren't going out. And so one of the things that I remembered about church when I was a kid is that many buildings that were oriented toward families had a family room. And church, they were called cry room.
Right.
Right? So I said, why not? Why not do this? And then I was at the Grauman's Chinese, and they had just remodeled it, and I was, you know, looking up at the ceiling and looking around, and I looked at the back, and I saw a plate glass all the way in the back. And I asked about it. He says, oh, that's a room we you know, just blocked off. It used to be a cry room. So I said, oh my God, movie theaters had cry rooms back in the day when there were big, giant movie palaces. So it's Back to the Future for me.
Outstanding. Speak a little bit about the business climate that you see in Indio.
Well, again, as a sort of economist who's numbers based, it's hard to put a number to climate, as the case may be, right?
Right.
I don't have a way of saying, well, it's a 12.2. We love decimal points in economics. But putting that to one side, again, look at the numbers, right? Look at the kind of growth, the broad-based growth. There are many parts of Riverside County that have started to push back on growth. I mean, you do see an element of NIMBYism creeping into things. There are a lot of folks who are upset, if you will, about the kind of job growth they're seeing in their community. Well, you're not seeing that here, obviously, because you see the job growth.
Right.
You see those numbers. You see how much it's increasing. And again, it gets back to the idea that, at least from that point, it's obvious to me that this is a city that's open for business and wants to expand.
That's exactly right. Susan, what's the state of the commercial real estate industry in Indio and the Valley as a whole, as you see it?
Well, vacancies are down and prices are up, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
As an example, go back to 2010, and I was at the ICSC shopping center conference, and I would go around to the different retailers or the restaurants and whatnot and introduce myself and ask if they would, are that you interested in expanding into the Coachella Valley? And they said, where is that? And so I'd have to explain to them where the Coachella Valley is and where Indio is. Oh, yeah, by Palm Springs. No, we're not interested. It's too seasonal. Flash forward, 2018. I'm walking around talking to people. Oh, yeah, we want to expand in your market. Oh, you're on our radar. We have projections to grow in the Coachella Valley tremendously. And so I looked at my colleague and I said, this is such a good feeling. In particular this year, everyone we spoke to was thrilled about the Coachella Valley. The problem was, they said, we need to find more franchisees to, take on the market for us because we don't have enough people. So anybody out there want to do franchisees for new businesses out here? Come talk to me. So it was very refreshing. Same for the lodging conference I was at last month. Everyone I talked to said, yeah, we're interested in the Coachella Valley. And I've been in sales a long time, and it's usually, you knock on 10 doors, and on the 11th door, you'll get someone to open it for you. Well, this time, after the conference, I reached out to all of the hoteliers, and I said, listen, if you'd like to know more about the Coachella Valley or sites, etc., email me back, send me your email, and I'll send it out to you. The response is overwhelming. So it's just a really good feeling. I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and this is the first time that I've seen such a welcome response and regard for the Coachella Valley.
And I would agree with you. The Indio name and Indio market is hot right now. And I've been, as I stated earlier, been elected for 21 years, and I've been going to ICSC. And I felt the same thing you felt this year. Normally, you walk around and you talk to people and you get the same, answer. Where's Indio? Where's the Coachella Valley? But this year was different. This year, from the time we got there to the time we left at the end of the show, we had meetings all day long. And people were coming to us and seeking us out, not the other way around, and us handing out the card and people saying, yeah, sometime. But speaking about the lodging industry and the hospitality for a minute, for years, the city of Indio had a booth, and right across the street was the MARRIOTT booth. And we dreamed and dreamed of MARRIOTT and Hilton hotels in the city of Indio. And we'd go over there, and each council member would walk across and talk to another representative and hand them our cards, and we'd get the go away, kind of brush off. But this year, we have a MARRIOTT, and we have a Hilton that's just started construction in the city of Indio. So Indio has arrived in the hotel industry. One thing's for certain. If you're out there traveling, flying across the United States or internationally, and people say, where's Indio? Where's the Coachella Valley? All you have to say is, Coachella. I know where Indio is. So that's what put Indio's name on the international map. Coachella, Stagecoach, Desert Trip. I want to thank you again for coming up today and spending a moment to talk about Indio and why you chose to come here, a little bit about the numbers and the state of the commercial and real estate in the Coachella Valley. And I ask the audience to give my panel members a huge round of applause, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To give you a perspective from the heart of Indio residents and in answering the question, why Indio? In their journey, the video you're about to see captures the community from the perspectives of our youth, business owners, and long-established residents. This video captures our community spirit and heritage and support they have felt from the city.
My name is Ashley Gonzalez. I'm a junior at Indio High School. I was born and raised here in Indio. This city is a big part of my story. It saved me.
I'm Albert Keck, a third-generation day farmer. In 1941, my grandparents, Albert and Florence Keck, moved from Los Angeles to Indio and started what would become our family's legacy. There are a lot of folks in Indio with roots in agriculture.
I'm Jorge Andrade. I was born in Mexico and I came here with my mother at age 13. We started our lives over in Indio.
I'm Rosa Flores, a first-generation Indio resident. My parents met at a farm labor camp in Indio in the 50s, and what they did from there took a lot of guts and a lot of heart.
There was a time when I lost my way. I didn't know who I was anymore, and I was acting out. I stopped listening to my parents, and I started doing things that made me feel not myself.
My grandfather was an attorney, my grandmother an opera singer, so the date business was new to them, and they grew it from rather humble beginnings. They bought a plot of land with a small house along Highway 111 and Arabia Street in the center of Indio, and then planted a date grove all around the house. It was there where they grew their business and their family.
My mom got us a place at a mobile home park. It seems like a long time ago. It was admirable that she, by herself, could provide for all of us, really. It was there where my worldview expanded.
My mom, Maria Stella, and Dad Prudencio were pioneers of perseverance. They both had a love for cooking, and in June of 1964, they took a big leap and opened up their own Mexican restaurant on Fargo Street by the old theater.
I was just surrounding myself with the wrong people, you know? And then I started coming to the teen center, and then me talking to Rosalba and the staff, and just being around people, like, the people I was around, they were, like, really mean, and, like, here it's, like, a family, you know? Yeah. It just felt, like, welcoming. Yeah.
When my grandfather passed away, my parents, John and Linda, came back to help my grandma run the business. My sisters and I grew up here in Indio. It was really different back then.
There's still a lot of the old families that came to the valley as pioneers. There's still that heritage in Indio, quite a bit. So I would guess maybe more so than many other cities in the valley.
I'll never forget walking to Indio Middle School on the first day. I didn't know anyone and I didn't speak English. I really pushed myself there, and by 8th grade, I was being recognized for my efforts.
It definitely was, very memorable to be able to feel competent again in an environment that's new to you as a kid.
The pride is a very enormous pride. Think of two people that met, knew they had it in themselves to work day and night, work 6 days of the week, raise 5 kids, and just living and just working. It's very big, very proud.
There's something about Indio that is so comforting. It's like the city rallied around me and picked me up when I wasn't sure where to turn. The sense of community here is special. It's different. I feel lucky to be growing up with this support.
Our original packing house on Highway 111 in Madison Street is still operating and quite busy each year during the harvest. It's a reminder of where we came from, where it all began. Some of our employees have been with us since the very beginning, like Rosie, who started working for my grandparents and is still with us today.
Indio High School was the place where I met great teachers who really helped me through my academic journey. I became valedictorian of my class, and I got a full scholarship to UC Berkeley.
I think that's a very good accomplishment between them and their dedication and showing us how to work. I think that's their main purpose. Nobody's slacking, everybody working, doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Today, I'm giving back to my community. I decided to get involved in as many positive things as I could. I'm a cheerleader. Go, Rogers! I joined my high school golf team. I'm still learning to play. I'm also a part of the Youth Advisory Council, where we get to talk directly to city leaders about the issues that are important. It's all part of giving back to a city that makes us kids feel like we mean something. that changes everything. I'm proud to be from Indio because in any other community, you really can't get the same. It makes me who I am, and I think it turned out pretty good.
While the landscape of Indio is changing and growing, it's important for my family to both move forward and hold on to the pioneering spirit that brought us and so many to Indio in the first place.
I got my degree in architecture. Perhaps it's fate that I'm returning to Indio in a time of growth and expansion. Who knows? My Indio story is still evolving, and while I navigate the next chapter, I'm working with kids at Jefferson Middle School, some with stories similar to mine. For now, I'm here to help them grow. Aside from the great family recipes, I credit our restaurant success to the close-knit community. Indio residents have rallied around my parents, us kids, and now our kids. We've been at this more than 50 years now. We're 3 generations strong. Our customers are our family, and our family is everything.
Indio.
This is Indio.
We are Indio.
It's good to be home, Mom.
Todo es posible en Indio.
All of us here today are Indio. Ashley Gonzalez said it best when she said, "This community is special. It's different." El corazón. El corazón. We would like to introduce you to the Legacy Video participants and their guests, if they would please stand. Albert Keck. Jorge Andrade. Rosa Flores and family. And Ashley Gonzalez. Oh, Ashley Gonzalez. A good student today. She's at school. She's a member of our YAC, our Youth Academy Commission, and she's doing great, and she's in school today, so she's doing well. I want to thank you for coming today and joining us on our State of the City address. I've been doing this 21 years. This is my 5th time as mayor in the city of Indio. And I'm excited about where this city is today. I'm excited about my colleagues on the city council. I'm excited about the city staff and what they accomplish. Together, we are all Indio. Thank you for being here today. Have a great rest of your day. Welcome to the city of Indio.